And a very warm welcome to Orient Live. The O's are now looking to get back to winning ways to keep hopes of this season's playoff push alive. And it's a sunny day out at the seaside as we travel to Blackpool, and here are the boys arriving at Blackpool Stadium now. And we're going to be bringing you all of the action here on Orient Live today. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined in the studio with Andrew Butler and Javo Abire. So boys, I mean, it's kind of the crunch time. It's do or die now.
Yeah, you could say that. I think both teams today will be almost viewing it in that way as well, because Blackpool have aspirations of trying to sneak in there as well as we do, and you know, we need to at least register something on the board, and you know, I think it's really important if we're really going to make those playoff spots. We need to get a result today. We
need to look at that. The last kind of 5 or so games, it's been a real tough fixture, kind of time-wise, and how thick and fast those Saturday, Tuesdays have come. You always got to put it out your head. There was a lot of factors in there, injuries and whatnot. You've got to put that all behind us now, haven't we?
Yeah, and there were some kind of losses in there that you perhaps can write off. Birmingham away, for example, going down to 10 men after only 10 minutes. You can kind of write those ones off, but it's the ones like last Saturday which are the harder ones to take. You know, losing to Northampton in the manner in which we did. It looks like they've had a good time on the training pitch. It's nice to see the club releasing photos of the lads having a jolly old time on the training field this week. So hopefully that kind of, we've just put that bit of run behind us. It was like you say, I really do feel like it is do or die coming into the last 10 games of the season now. It's been a long season. It's been a tough one, but we're still just hanging in there, and I feel like today is. I mean, it might be a muscle in Ollie. You might be able to convince me that it is by the end of this show.
Well, we'll come on to it in a bit more finer detail shortly. But Joe, how important is that week on the training pitch? No Tuesday night on the coach or on the train. They've had a full week rested. It's big for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, especially sometimes when when the game's coming thick and fast. But when you're not getting the results in those games, it does weigh more heavily on your head. So having that break of no games and then just a bit of training, and like Andrew was saying, it looks like they're having a good time. There's lots of smiles, and working on shape, working on various things that you've seen in previous games that you can spend the time to sort of like deal with on the training ground, I think will pay dividends, and hopefully we can just get back on track.
Well, getting back on track will be vital if we want. If we want. Javo's good at lip syncing there. If we want the season to have any to stay alive, to have any hopes of getting back into those playoff spots, and there's one man who knows exactly what we need if we want to do that, and it's Richie Wellens.
Gaffer, Blackpool to come on Saturday. This has been our first week with no midweek game for a long time. How beneficial do you hope that will be for us?
Beneficial in terms of the players needed a rest at some point. Also beneficial that we've got one real good training session in. It's not like we've had a full week and then we've been able to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and get everything tactical in, but I think the players needed a break, not just physically but mentally. We've seen a lot of each other over the last 12-15 weeks, probably too much. So yeah, the players have needed a break. They came in Wednesday, was fantastic, and we'll train today, and hopefully they'll be in the same spirits ready for Saturday.
We often talk about physical fatigue, particularly at this time of the year, but just how important is that mental break for them?
Well, the mental break is important, but the way that we play, you know, if you watch the way we play, if any supporter or any opposition watch the way we play, we are full of legs, we're full of intensity, and if you watch us over, especially the last 2 games, we've lacked that. I don't think that's a mentality issue. I just think it was a physical issue. But then when you factor that in with the mental fatigue that we've suffered over the last, let's not beat around the bush. Charlton was a huge blow for us, a huge blow. And then you've got the away trips we've had with the late getting back and the schedule that we've had. We're past that now. But it's been tough. So the players needed a break. Our physical output was 16k less against Northampton than our highest this year. So if you average that over our 10 outfield players, it's 1.6k each player. So it's a big drop off. Now I don't think that's an attitude problem, because I would never question the attitude or the resilience of this group. It's absolutely a physical issue.
Let's hope Richie has the boys firing once again today. I'm sure he will have them absolutely amped up for this one away to Blackpool. And let's take a look and see the starting lineup that Richie has opted for as we go on the hunt for those important 3 points. Starting in goal as always, it's Josh Keeley across the back line. That's Jack Curry at left back. He hasn't had a name change. Sean Clare's on the opposite side of the fence, playing in the right back positions with Jack Simpson wearing the armband today, alongside Romani Edmonds-Green. In midfield is Jordan Brown and Ethan Galbraith, and then the three attacking players ahead of them two is Jaleng Jayassimi, Azim Abdullahi and Dan Adji. And Dan Adji's so good we've played him twice, he's up top as well. I think that should be Charlie Kelman who's leading the line today. On the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, Brandon Cooper, Don Ball, Jamie Donnelly, Darren Prattley, Sonny Perkins and Dylan Markanday. So ignore the graphic there. What I've said should be right. Well, I'm pretty sure it's right. I've got it in front of me. But let's talk about goals then, because goals win games, and they've maybe dried up a smidge of late. But a week on the training pitch, you're talking about shape. You're talking about how we play. Richie spoke about it there. It's a bit of a reset, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, but with the attacking lineup that we see there today, I think there's plenty of goals. There's plenty of danger. And agility and enthusiasm to get into good areas. So I think as long as we get into those positions a bit more frequently, I think we've got plenty of goals in us at the moment.
Let's look at kind of the Jamie Donnelly dropped, which is the big one, but then you've got our top goal scorers in Charlie Kelman and Dan Adji both starting. Their minutes have been managed recently, but with them two on the pitch, you're looking at goals.
Yeah, I mean, we're better with both of them on. Quite simply, I think Charlie Kelman took his goal very, very well last Saturday. It wasn't quite enough, but Dan came on as well, and he was also a game changer as well. So I think we're just quite simply a better team with both of them in there. I love it when I see that they're both starting. You could kind of argue that sometimes Dan is an amazing impact sub when he comes on, because he gives defenders nightmares who've already been given the runaround for 60 minutes. But it's good to see them two in the lineup, and then Donnelly dropping onto the bench, and whether or not that's just kind of a fatigue thing or a shape thing. It looks like Abdullah will be taking that number 10. I think it's a big test for him. Actually, he obviously started his career here fabulously with that hat trick against Exeter, and since then things perhaps haven't gone his way quite as much as a lot of us would have hoped. But it shows big faith in him. The fact that Donnelly's out of the team for this one, and Abdullah's come in, so that will be kind of a key moment, I think, for us. So yeah, hopefully all the best to him.
What do you think if it is a tactical approach? Because they're fairly different players. It seems a bit more physical, maybe a bit bigger, or more direct. Maybe, I don't know. Is that maybe an indication of what Richie's expecting from this Blackpool side?
Yeah, possibly so. I mean, Donnelly can pick the ball up in different areas with a great weight of pass, and Abdullah's a bit more wiry. When he gets on the ball, he might try and take people on and sort of like, offer a different problem to Blackpool. Whereas, Donnelly would drop in deep and they can follow. Whereas Abdullah could go beyond Adji and run behind Kelman. So it just, I think, offers a different problem which they might have identified watching the Blackpool clips.
Absolutely, and the wingers, which should manage them, being Jayassimi and Adji, other side. Then that is quite a direct option for a front three, as opposed to some of the other options we have.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I think similar to Abdullah, I think big game for Jayassimi as well. Again, Richie's put his faith in someone who hasn't been starting that many games over the course of the season. So hopefully he can have like one of those games where he is incredibly impactful. He looks like a real handful at times, and perhaps that consistency isn't just always there throughout the full 90 minutes. But it's an interesting front four with the Dan Adji and Charlie Kelman. I think that picks themselves, but Donnelly missing and Abdullah in there instead, and Jayassimi out on the left. I don't think we would have had that so far this season. Those four up front for us. So it suggests that they've been experimenting on the training pitch. Like Richie was saying, they've had days on the training pitch, which is quite rare actually for us over the course of this season. So hopefully they'll be all guns blazing.
Hopefully so, indeed. And then you look into the midfield too. Behind them, the linchpins. You've got the right back position as well. It's an interesting one. We've got it down as Sean Clare starting at right back, but that very well could be Ethan playing out there at full back and Sean Clare in the middle with Brown. It's a very kind of mobile midfield, isn't it? Dynamic one.
It definitely is, and depending how the game's going, maybe the tactics is to sort of force Blackpool back and then create more space in the middle of the park where Sean Clare or if it's Galbraith playing in that right side, they could probably engage into the midfield and fluently swap around during the game. So it can add a different dimension and give something to Blackpool to think about.
We've seen in recent weeks it's Don Ball in there with the Armand Pratley. It's a slightly younger midfield, but a lot of games in there between them still.
Oh yeah, massively so. I mean, it's interesting going back to the Galbraith or Clare. I think that obviously it'll be something that will be cleared up within the first few seconds, or as soon as we see them line up on the pitch today. Because putting Clare at right back perhaps might be a bit more reserved. You lose that element of Galbraith's game of stepping out of defence into midfield, creating more like a midfield three when he plays there. So it'll be interesting to see if that is the case and kind of he just starts in the two next to Jordan Brown. So we might miss that, but I mean we've said it a lot this season. Galbraith is just such an excellent player that you can pretty much place him anywhere and he'll probably have a very, very good game. It's
a classic Steve Bruce 4-4-2 on the road. When it comes to looking at how that game might play out in midfield, it's gonna. So as we say it all the time in this league, of course, but there's going to need to be that battle to it. So it's a big task for all three of those players you've mentioned, depending on who plays where.
Yeah, it really is. But you can see the team is quite high energy, and I think we're going to have to be because they're quite good at home, Blackpool. And the way Steve Bruce sets up with strong intent, keep it tight and press, and they're going to be wanting to get a result and working hard. So we need to match that energy and enthusiasm, and I think. Looking at the team that's picked, it has got that in abundance.
It's kind of almost, does it not solely fall on Jordan Brown, but he's going to be that one in there almost holding it all together, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's got a big game coming up. I think like you said, the whole idea of Steve Bruce 4-4-2. I mean it's like. It's football heritage, right? It's Ashley Fletcher up top for them as well. You kind of just know exactly what you're going to get from this Blackpool team today. So it's going to be a big game for Brown. I think it's going to be a huge game for Jack Simpson and Reg at the back as well. I'm sure we'll come on to them. But it's. I mean, we said at the start of this show, do or die. I mean, the fascinating thing about today's game, and I think it's perhaps do or die for both teams. I don't expect this game will finish in a draw. I hope for an open game. Obviously we hope for the win for us, but a draw doesn't really do anything for either team. So we get into that stage of the season where it is quite tantalising in games like this. Blackpool have come off the back of back-to-back wins, which has been very, very rare for them this season, and we've coming in with our worst run of form in the season so far. So hopefully both teams will be going for the win, not playing within themselves. They've had a rest of sorts by not playing on Tuesday. So yeah, we've got I think a quite exciting one lined up.
Certainly do. Well, of course, don't forget if you're watching along live on the YouTube stream, then today's match is available for international fans to stream with us here on Orient Live. You can head over to the Match Centre on the website now and pick up your streaming pass for just £10 if you're watching along live on the YouTube stream, and you're in the UK, then you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock, and kick-off is just over 15 minutes away, so don't hang about and get over there and pick up your pass now. And let's take a short break from talking about football for just a moment, and let's head down to Jubilee Primary School where some of the players dropped in to talk about the importance of nutrition.
Me, Ethan and George have come down to Jubilee Primary School for Science Week to explain to them how important nutrition and looking after your body is for you. For me personally, if you're an elite athlete or not, it's important to look after your body and make sure that you have the best life possible. Also, nutrition isn't just for physical benefit, it's good for mental health as well. I know for me, if I was to have a couple cheat meals, it would definitely make me feel down. But then if I was to eat more healthy, definitely spark my mood a lot better. They've got their whole life ahead of them, so if you teach them young, it'll become natural to them in the future, and they just spend their whole life eating right, drinking healthy, a lot of water, because it's just overall good for you.
They had some good questions to us, asking about what supplements we use. We said about electrolytes, how they help refuel our body for the sessions. Nutrition is really important for the recovery side of things, so whether we need to have a lot of protein or carbohydrates in between sessions and matches, it's going to help improve our performance on and off the pitch. Me being a goalkeeper, my training programme is often different to the outfielders, so my programme is more power based and I'm covering less distance in matches, so that means I'm probably less in need of carbohydrates to replenish my muscles, because I'm not working as hard as the outfielders in terms of distance. Obviously we're still doing a lot of work for the team, most important position on the pitch. I think it's really beneficial to come down here and educate the children who might not be knowledgeable of nutrition, so now they've got better understanding of what's good for them, what's bad for them, or what they can do to help energise them for if they've got their own football matches or training sessions or anything they're doing. It's good that they know what to do.
We looked at the importance of nutrition for players. We compared to the two players that we had down here, so Zach and Ethan, who were here. It's really important that they could relate to some of the information I'm feeding back to the players about strategies that we may deploy. We looked at strategies that I could employ, so we looked at one-to-ones, workshops, education tools, coordinating with a chef, and the players gave a good insight on how these methods have been for them. Really important that we got the key messages across as well regarding recovery, fuel, hydration, and the last one we looked at was well-being.
Top stuff there from the young O's, and Jabbo, you know, nutrition is such an important part of life, isn't it? Look at yourself in the shape. It's an important part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It was all about those gains, and especially when you play, again, the fixtures we've had recently, recovery is important, so nutrition is paramount for a healthy life, and especially when your whole life ahead of you as well, Ollie. So yeah, it's very important.
Well, I mean, look at Jack, he's in such good shape these days still. You must have had those old habits don't die, do they, Jack?
No. Well.
Yeah, less said about mine and your nutrition, the better. Let's return to football now then. Just a quick word defensively. Jack Curry coming back in following his suspension, whether it was fair or not, we don't have to go over that old ground, but it's a very welcome re-edition.
Yeah, can we go over it again? I still think it's a disgraceful decision. I'm over it now. I have to be, because he's back. Yeah, you know what? There's sometimes moments in the season where you can you might be able to. It might feel like an overemphasis on particular moments, but certainly losing Curry for 3 games for a decision that I thought was not the right one in a game as big as that against Birmingham. You effectively lose it for like almost 4 games, really, when you have that only after 10 minutes. So losing them was a massive blow. I think there was a couple of, a few years ago, I remember when under Kenny Jackett, when Tom James got injured and we were playing 5 at the back, and it was, we were playing fabulously well with him out of the wide, and losing Curry for the last 3 games. I just feel like, Sweeney's done nothing wrong. He's so consistent, but Curry's has been excellent over the course of this season, and we've done so well to get him into the club on loan. And yeah, I've really liked and enjoyed watching him play. And you feel perhaps it is an overemphasis on my part of saying that losing him has also caused a dip in form. I don't think that's quite the case, but he has been brilliant for us.
We've seen some clips. The first few were attacking, but this is what he does as well defensively. He's important in all areas for us, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a solid performer week in, week out. You know what you're going to get. He's so unassuming. You get other people that kind of make the headline, but this guy's been a constant performer, and he's really linked that defence very well.
He certainly has. Let's move swiftly on then, and actually let's hear from Jack Curry now and hear what he has to say following his return to the side.
past couple of weeks, results haven't exactly gone our way, but I'd say as a team, me personally, we've all stuck with our goal. We know what we want to achieve from this year, and we won't stop pushing until it's impossible for us to get there. But look, we're a team that are motivated, we're a team that knows how to get results, so it's just a matter of time and faith from the fans to keep us, motivated to do it. As a team, we were in good form, we were getting results, but look, it's one of them things that happens in football. There's a lot of things I do want to say about it, but I won't. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, we've got good players in every position that can fill in when they're called upon. So it's important that we stick together and have that mentality of the group that everyone's going to be very important till the last game of the season. We have a really good group cohesion first and foremost, all the way through from staff to players. Everyone's aligned in our goal, and we're a team that won't know they're done until they're done. So that's something that I've found amazing this year, is just everyone's been on board with the goal, with the process. So we just need to keep our heads down. 10 games left, it's almost like a mini league at the end of the year, isn't it? So it's a case of doing what we did, getting back to what we did, which was getting us results. We've had meetings, we saw Claire this afternoon, who's sort of spoken about the mentality of the group and just finding ways to get back to our good form. I think it's really important that we look back at the games where we have got success. We were proactive, we were energetic, we were 100 miles an hour, everyone knew their roles, and we still do. So I think because we had that, we know we have it in us for the rest of the season. And I honestly believe, with the mentality, as I said before, of the group and with what we're being given, it's massively important that we take those on board and we look to transfer it onto the pitch. Look, this is just a blip. So the past 4 or 5 games, I know we'll come back from it, and I'm very motivated to make sure I can play a part in it. I completely believe we can. We're a group that's hungry for results. We're hungry for getting to where we want to get to, as I've said before. It's just a case of getting the whole club, in and around that, and knowing that there's going to be games where we're not going to win, but what we are going to do is work hard for this football club and get what we want out of the season. It was the first red card that I've had in my career. Whether it was or what it wasn't, we'll let you guys decide. But no, I'm itching. I've never been more motivated for something. I think it's important that we stay sort of in control of our emotions as well, not getting ahead of ourselves. Look, whatever happens Saturday, I'll be ready, and the gaffer knows that I'll be ready to give 100% whenever I'm called upon.
Top interview there from Jack, and I think he summed it up nicely. The boys are pumped up for this fixture today, and it's a fairly informed Blackpool who we are looking to steal some crucial points off of. And let's take a look and see how the Seasiders are lining up for this afternoon's fixture. In goal for Blackpool is Harry Tyra. In defence they have Odeluga Afire, Matthew Pennington, Oliver Casey and Hayden Coulson. In the midfield is Robert Apter, Albie Morgan and the captain Lee Evans, all alongside Sonny Carey. And the 2 up top is Ashley Fletcher alongside Niall Ennis. And on the bench is Richard O'Donnell, Jordan Lawrence Gabriel, James Husband, CJ Hamilton, Tom Bloxham, Joshua Onuma and Jake Beasley. So we absolutely blew them away back in the first half of this season. They've had a bit of an upturn in form since though.
Yeah, we were fantastic that day. It was one of those games where everything kind of clicked into place and kind of really kick-started our season. Actually, when they came and visited, and we were brilliant. Adji and Kelman actually particularly gave them real problems that day. So hopefully they take some of that into today's game. But they've had a couple of okay wins, good wins, I suppose. Back-to-back wins for. The first time in a while for them of late. They have been just really inconsistent though over the course of the season. It's kind of what has caused them to just sit there in 11th place. But those back-to-back wins, I mean, you speak to Blackpool fans over the course of this week, you'll hear from them saying, well, if we can change this 9 points down to 6 points with a win today, then suddenly things could turn around and get back into the playoff picture. And unlikely, probably at this stage of the season, but they would have taken great great encouragement from those back-to-back wins, and we have to be good to beat them today for sure.
Looking since we last played them, they've only lost 4 times, and that was that was in November time. They've only lost 1 in their last 14 or 15. Drawn a hell of a lot of games though. As Andrew said, they have won 2 on the bounce now, but they look like a fairly solid side. Yeah,
that's what they are. They're very solid. Might not get over the line with the wins, but they're a solid outfit. And now, with the bit between the teeth after getting 2 back-to-back wins, they're thinking, right, we can get on a run here and do something. Our job today is to stop that and stop our mini rot and see what we can turn around. But I feel, as long as we get something on the road, we get a point, even if it is a point today, then I think it's still 9 games to go after that. Then I think we can do something.
I've seen some of the goals conceded there. That first one was comical.
It was appalling.
Yes, a team to be got at though, Andrew.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's their inconsistency has been kind of the thing that's put paid to perhaps their promotion push over the course of this season. But they can be got at. We got at them very well earlier in the season. They've conceded a couple of excellent goals that we're seeing here. But we really need to put the last few games out of our mind. I think we were not good last Saturday at all, and hopefully the week on the training pitch will pay dividends.
Absolutely, it will. Well, I'm sure the attackers would have been licking their lips looking at some of these clips, but they're making their way out onto the pitch now, up in Blackpool. And Jabbo, we've seen them go on runs this season. Yep. We're on a bad one at the moment, but there's still a lot of football to be played, and anything can happen.
Definitely, anything can happen. Come on, boys, let's turn this around.
But there's the motivational words from Jabbo Akiri. Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock will be bringing you maybe a bit more insightful commentary for the rest of the game. But let's go and join them now and get ready for this big game.